everybody, it's Chastity, and I know it's been a while, but here I am. Anyways, it's nighttime, it's 9:24 at night, and sometimes you get that, oh, I want something at night, and I don't know what to make, and some people go for like chocolate or cereal, you know, a bowl of cereal before bed or whatever. I, however, do not like that stuff. But the one thing I do like is homemade popcorn. And today I'm going to show you how to do your own homemade popcorn. These are the items that I use to make homemade popcorn instead of doing like Jiffy Pop or something. I prefer to do it because it's just so much fresher to just pop my own on the stove. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but you get exactly what you want in the amount of butter, the amount of salt, or if anybody likes hot sauce or whatever, they can do that too. Popping corn, butter. You can put as little or as much butter as you want. I usually do half a stick, but I kind of ran out of butter, so I gotta use what I can. Salt. Don't put a whole lot of salt in it, because you really shouldn't have a ton of salt, but enough for flavoring. A pot and a lid. That's what you need to make your own popcorn. So I'm gonna go to the stove and bring everything with me. Alright, so what I do is I put the pot on the stove. You take the lid off first, obviously. You do need a spoon or something like that to scoop all the butter out. So I use a plastic spoon. And again, like I said, I don't have that much butter. I didn't realize I didn't. And then after I put my butter in, I take my salt. Depending on how much you want, how much or how little, that's how much you put in there. So what I do is I just take the butter, the salt, and kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Because I would rather have salt on it before I eat it, or before the popcorn's popped. It gives a better flavor. Okay, my next step, some people measure it, the popcorn. I just kind of pour it in. I'm not really good at that stuff. When I do recipes and everything else, I just add a pinch of this, a dash of that. That's kind of how I work. So I'm just going to pour however I feel is enough, because it's a very little bit of butter. So I'm not going to put too much in there. That should be enough, because what's going to happen is the butter's going to melt down to the bottom of the pan, which I'm going to turn on the stove right now. And that's about how high you should have your fire. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lid on right now. So now what I'm going to do is, as you can see inside the pot, the butter will melt. You can hear it. So you're going to see that it's steaming up, which is what you want. And what I do is I like to shake it around a little bit, because you want all that butter to coat the bottom of the pan. That's kind of why you want to use a lot more butter than I use, because even though some people can't have a lot of butter, you can get unsalted butter. I do prefer the butter with the salt, like margarine, because it just gives it a better flavor. But occasionally, as you're standing here, I do have a little thing to grab the pot if I need to, but I'm not going to use that right now. And by the way, you can get this at Walmart. You can touch hot pans and stuff. It's really nice to have. Anyways, you kind of want to just keep shaking it. And this is how you want to keep doing it. You want to keep the pot moving, because if you don't, it will burn at the bottom of the pan, like I said, because it will burn your pan. And then you're just going to have a waste of a pan. Now, as you see, my fingers are being held like this. It's getting too hot for my hands. So I'm going to put the glove on. And I'm just going to keep shaking it. And yes, this is a process. It's just the way it is if you want real good popcorn. And I know most of you used to do this when you were younger. And I know it's nostalgic, but I could have did Jiffy Pop and stuff like that. As you can hear that I'm starting to pop popcorn. See, we got it going now. It's gonna taste so good. And you just keep moving it and moving it and moving it. As you move it, the salt and the butter will start coating all the kernels of popcorn. And that's kind of what you want. That's the best way to make it. And I put a lot of butter, so it ended up in this one. Yep, that's about it. Now I'm going to shut off the stove because you don't want it to burn. Give it a couple more seconds because the last of the few kernels are going to finish popping. And during that time, I'll go and get a bowl so then we can pour the popcorn in the bowl. Again, you can use any bowl you want. I just should use this. This is 4.5 quarts or whatever. Okay, so now that we got all that, everything's taken care of. Take off the lid. Look at that. It looks amazing. And all I do is I shake it up to get the rest of the butter and the salt on the bottom of the pan. Even though the popcorn doesn't look like totally white or whatever, it's because when you're cooking it on the stove this way, the salt actually like browns. So that's kind of what it looks like. But I'm willing to take that risk and enjoy the popcorn even with the salt, the brown salt. I'm gonna try a piece. Oh yeah. Every one of them kernels, even though I put a little bit of butter in there, you can taste it. It's amazing. But thank you for coming to my site. Sorry, it's so good. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like my video. And I'll see you later. Have a good night. This is a bowl of butter.